Part C has been established to try and explain the correct way in which we should see and think in today's world. We are looking through an incorrect lens, and we have to rewire ourselves in order to have a correct world view. Our modern world, from our schooling, from our economics to our social, our political, our patterns of thinking, seeing, learning, are all based on a world of things, in isolation, in silos. We are encouraged, if not told, controlled, manipulated, conditioned to think of as separate building blocks away from everything else. This is a dominant world view that is now controlling the world, and it has been there since the 16th and 17th century. What happened to create this dominant worldview? It was none other than the birth of Western civilization. If one studies the previous civilizations and the faith traditions before this period, we will see a completely different worldview. And so we need to be able to understand correctly the current world view that is controlling our mindset. This dominant worldview now that is controlling mankind allows us to count and measure objects without there having any relational value for us. We are looking at quantifying rather than qualifying. Quantity rather than quality. Yet, the deeper we look into nature, into the natural world, nature as our teacher, the more we realize, if we look, if we see, if we observe, if we reflect, think, that nothing is separate. Everything is interconnected. Everything is in a dynamic, beautiful, harmonious interplay. Everything is in order. Everything has been perfectly designed. Life is not a battle. Life is not according to how Darwin saw it. But a question is, did Darwin see that way of life, or has that been changed? Has that been manipulated? Life is essentially co-creative. It's fluid, it's connective, it's interconnected. Everything is interdependent. We are living in a crisis of perception of how we see the world. And so, Heart C, although was dormant for a period of time because of demand and because of the global crisis which is upon us, it has to come back stronger. It has to come back to reach out to the masses to say, you are viewing the world, you have been conditioned to see the world and to live in the world incorrectly. And if mankind continues along the same path, then the end is not good. We have to do what we can while we are here on this earth as guides, as caretakers, as guides and as guardians. We have to do our bit. So increasingly, the critical problems facing planet Earth and society, from the macro to the micro, cannot be resolved with the same thinking that created the problems in the first place, because we are now affecting the macro. All of the current social, political, economic, environmental, educational ills all spring from an inherent flow in how we see and think in today's world. That is the purpose of our heart see. And unless we really understand rewiring, reconnecting to the natural world, rewilding, and then we go on from there to the redesigning and the re-establishment, but unless we really understand the current worldview and we don't start to rewire, then there's no point continuing the journey with Heart C. We all have to individually change so we become that domino, which then knocks on to the next domino, and it has that effect.
سبيل الدموع سبيل مريح تنهد يا صاحي كي تستريح وبث الدعاء الخفي الصريح يسعك